Good morning, everybody, and hello, and welcome to another in a great series of webinars that we at SkySwitch have been putting on here. I'm Andy Abramson, and I am delighted today to be joined by some really good friends who are really making a difference in the SkySwitch store that Kelly Osborne is running so well. Today, we're going to be featuring the folks from Fanvil and NTS as we bring you more details about SkySwitch's relationship with Fanvil and really open up the door to you to learn more about Fanvil as a new product line of desktop phones that really make a difference. What's been really rewarding is since the NTS folks started working with us, the Fanvil folks came on a couple months later, and I've been watching the orders come through and am just delighted to see how well Fanvil is doing, as I'm sure our guests are. Today's webinar is all about increasing productivity with Fanvil's customizable products and solutions. It's really going to be product focused. We're going to showcase the Fanvil XU series of IP phones and their PA2 broadcast solutions. We're going to go in depth and give you an overview of the Fanvil phone series, how you can get custom branding options for their XU series, and let you know more about the key features that both the XU and the X series offer. But most of all, we're also going to have a look into the PA2 and the rich connections and broadcasting solutions they offer. I'm your moderator, Andy Abramson. I've been doing these now, I guess, since January, and really enjoying it, and really enjoy your questions that you put into our Q&A here within the Zoom platform. Today's presenter is going to be Tommy Lee. Tommy is the very personable and well-spoken VP of Sales for North America at Fanvil. I was detecting that New York accent, Tommy, and as I read your bio, I said, yep, he's definitely from New York. He's got that little bit of Brooklynese comes through every once in a while. And you know, having grown up in Philadelphia, it's easy to pick the difference between Mark's New England accent and your New York accent. And of course, I'll slip into Philly every once in a while. He's a VP of Sales here for North America. He's been at Fanvil since August of 2019. So second anniversary, happy second anniversary for that. He really has 13 years of experience or more within our wonderful telecom industry. He has a background in internet security, semiconductor, and the defense market. That makes desktop phones seems like child's play. And when it comes to play, Tommy loves to hit the ball playing tennis. Also joining us today is my good friend and former neighbor to the south, Mark Magliano. He's the VP of ITSP Sales over at NTS Direct, one of the 5 SkySwitch distributors that we work with to help the resellers get not only great options and great selections, but really great pricing. Mark's been in the industry for 30 years, doesn't look it, avid boater, avid fisherman, proud father. He's also been in the distribution of technology products. Love talking with Mark about what's going on in the industry. So if you have questions for Mark about anything that's happening in the industry, especially distribution-wise, post them in the chat. Mark's worked with companies like Tech Data, MicroH, Netgear, and most recently he was with Grandstream Networks, where he was responsible for the entire North American business for Grandstream. So without further ado, I want to welcome both good friends, Tommy, Mark. Welcome to the webinar.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy.
Tommy, why don't you take it away and really talk all about, just what's going on with Fanvil.
Will do. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for your time today. I want to give a good overview of the XU series. And really, I assume most of the audience knows about IP endpoints. And what I want to do is really show you how we differentiate against the rest of the solutions that are out there. Why the XU series? We found out that there's a lot of confusion on both sides amongst our partners as well as even the end consumer. I mean, when you think about the integrator, they go out there and go, wow, which model has color, which version has PoE, which one has gig? You know what? It could be really, really confusing. So what Fanvil has done is really reduce all of those iterations and really classify it as core features so that we just divide all those different features down into 4 separate models. And they're really the XU series models, which include every feature that you really need, and that it makes simplification in terms of choosing which model is best suited for your specific needs. And I'll get more into that. PA2 broadcast systems, very, very simple. You know, there's an arm out there where there's a lot of installations that actually have things like public announcement systems. Well, you go, well, I don't have really a chance to address that. The reality is you do. And with this simple adapter, you can easily bridge a solution from SkySwitch and address PA systems that are out there using our PA2. Without further ado, let me go ahead and just get started onto it. Just one simple slide on giving the whole spectrum. Most of the things that I'll be talking about are the major items, which is our IP phones. But the three solution categories that Fanvil provides to the entire marketplace globally can be put into three separate things. Of course, we have our IP endpoint solutions, which is our desk phones. We divided both in commercial as well as hospitality environments as well. Beyond that, we also have what I call infrastructure pieces here, which also includes one of our PA2s down here. What they provide is really intercoms as well as door access units and things like that, made for both indoor, outdoor, and ruggedized applications. The great news is that if you're using all this, we actually have a management system that ties all these solutions together. For those who haven't heard Fanvil brand name before in the past, we've been in the endpoint business for many, many years. We're probably one of the largest OEM manufacturers out there, and I'm pretty sure that you're working probably with one of our OEMs, but we've been in the marketplace for a long time, and we just want to make a great splash into our entry into the telecom business. So I talked about entering the marketplace, providing four basic models. It's really the X3, 4, 5, and 6Us. I mean, that's what we call a core product. This is typically where you address a lot of your specific volume needs, and let's just get right into it. Now, when you talk about these four separate units, they all include color, both not only in the main display, but also as well as the BLF keys that you find in the lower key. And we've made a lot of considerations as you upgrade. You have different type of capabilities to suit your specific application requirement. And I said all of these full featured included is really, they all include GigE, they all are color, they all support PoE, Opus codec if that's something you're into. But what we did as well is provide productivity features like discrete SIP PLF keys that are in separate displays. What does that really mean? I want to look at differentiation. When you look at differentiation, you have a lot of displays that are typically located on the side of the screen, which really handle the tactical day-to-day calls. So when you get 1, 2, 3, or 4 calls at the same time, you can manage it via these keys without interrupting the BLF keys that you have off on the side. You know, very often in other designs, you might have them all cascaded together. So the more tactical keys that you get, the less basically speed dial, BLF, or action URL keys that you get moving forward. So we find this design to be very easy because it tends to pick up a lot of where the legacy phones leave off in terms of their overall design. So when someone looks at a brand new phone, they go, oh, okay, this operates exactly the way our old digital systems or our old analog systems worked in the past. And we have everything going from basic X3U that has no BLF keys for basic functionality. We have one that provides some level of BLF keys without any specific level of integration, but provides all the key features that you need. We have the ability, even the X4U, to support Wi-Fi and Bluetooth interfaces, and gives you the ability to support 12 SIP lines all in a row so that you can go ahead and do that. We provide 30 DSS keys. As you move up to the X5U, what this does is it gives you a much larger screen with a much larger keys off to the side, to giving you larger flexibility in terms of assigning specific account numbers. But in addition, they could also be put at whatever keys you have. But the great news is that you also have Bluetooth that's also integrated into this phone as well, so that you don't have to go ahead and spend an extra $25 for an external dongle, which you do in many of the other solutions. And in addition to that, we have the 30 DSS keys as well. X6U is really what we call our top core, which means that it also provides the Wi-Fi USB. It also includes the USB, but what it also does is that you know what, these 6 keys that we provide here up front, that gives you 30 because they're separate pages, is not enough. Is there anything you want to show that's really far more? And what we've done is we doubled the keys and provide you far more, giving you 60 DSS keys up front, and we added a video codec. How do we differentiate in a video codec? Most IP phones can actually sell and display one-way video, but what this does, it actually has a VGA decoder that gives you 30 frames per second video should you hook this up into a digital camera externally. And one of the great features, if you integrate this along with one of our video-based intercoms or door entry systems, we have a differentiating feature called video preview. What that means is it gives you the ability to turn on that video to see who's at that door or at your front gate before you actually engage in a call. Most SIP endpoint devices actually allow you to engage in a call where you're already in, and you may not always want to actively engage in a conversation. You want to see who's at that door passively before you actually engage in a conversation. And that's something that, you know, these phones can definitely do.
Tommy, what's great about what you just showed us is
Yep.
ergonomics, which is
Yes.
the one thing you didn't say, and I want to bring that out, is that when you go back and you look at those, if you were able to zoom in, I know you can't with the slides, but if you look top monitor screen, that's on the eye line. That's where you're looking at something. Whereas the keys that are on the BLF keys that are on the left right-hand side, those are functional things. Those are things that you would have to reach out and touch, so to speak. And what I'm looking at when I see a Fanvil product is I'm able to see what I need without having to like look down and figure out. So if I walk in and I'm at a desk that may not be mine or may not be using it every day, Fanvil puts what I need right in front of me so I can do what I have to do with the phone, whether it's transfer a call, whether it's put somebody on hold, whether it's going to do not disturb. That the functionality and the ergonomics it's natural, which is what I really like about it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And so let's go ahead and talk about differentiation features. Now, when I look about differentiation, I talked a lot about these things, and that's a lot about the phone. Now, let's just talk a little bit more about, you know, I talked about a lot of the different SIP accounts that those phones support, probably far beyond what most markets need. Let's talk about the HD voice. One of the feedbacks that we get for a lot of deployments that we're experiencing is the quality of sound. And one of the things that we did is not only do we provide great value in terms of phone, but we also did a lot of upgrades and we incorporated Harman speakers. Now, you know, I own a Subaru and I've actually paid extra for having a Harman system upgraded from its baseline. And we've actually used that same level of hardware and provided the speakerphone. And I'm going to get into why that makes a big differentiating feature in the next few slides, but then that becomes part of the upgrades that you actually get. In addition to that, we also have all the provisioning tools that you need. Not only can you provision and write out a SkySwitch, but we also have those management tools in case you want to go ahead and redirect control from having sort of the out-of-the-box experience. And so all those basic tools are readily available, brought down into 4 major things. Now, I want to look at some other things besides features is, if you happen to be large enough to be able to place perhaps a minimum order quantity of like 200 units, guess what we're willing to do? As I mentioned in our first slide, we are a major OEM manufacturer. And if you want to find another vehicle to be able to market your brand name as opposed to ours, we've actually created a vehicle that enables you to put your brand name on our specific phone. Of course, if you meet those minimum quantities, then you can go ahead and have another channel to go ahead and market your brand name. I'll get into a little bit more of that. In terms of warranty, we basically double a lot of the basic warranties that are out there, and that is effective from when the product transfers from NTS over right into your hands, and that's when the clock starts. So it's very, very predictable. You know what you're getting, and we'll go ahead and warrant everything to factory specification. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the C for those that are interested in OEMing, okay? So we've taken 2 of those models, primarily the X3U and the 5U. So something that's really basic and something that's really 1 tick below the X6 series. Now, all of the XU series are OEMable or rebrandable, but for these 2 particular models, we brought the threshold down to like 200 units so that it gives you the ability to kind of see if that's something that's in it for you. So in our typical phones, we have our brand name that's located up here, but what we did is we actually provided a display that you could bake that's actually substituted in what we call our neutral phones. And so that gets put in here and your brand name will actually be done across here, and that even the boot up screen that normally is listed Fanvil when it's booting up, that will be some generic, IP phone name. And then anything that had Fanvil on it will be wiped out so that really your brand name becomes really the key feature. Not only is it just the phone itself, but the external box itself, all the branding has been removed from it so that it really becomes your branded product. So that's a quick overview. If you want to know a little bit more about it, feel free to give myself a call. I do have some contact information, contact NPS or contact SkySwitch. We'll be more than happy to help you moving forward. I talked a little bit before about how that added hardware is done. One of the nice differentiating features, if you pick an X6U or an X5U, it has integrated Bluetooth so that you can go ahead and incorporate a smartphone onto the phone itself. Why is this really great? It's because for those who are fortunate enough out in the marketplace that has Bluetooth in their car, when you walk into your car, any call that you receive will automatically publish, so you don't have to remove your hands from the wheel. You can go ahead and talk, and the idea is seamless. Well, it's the same feature here. Not only can it receive calls and display it on the screen, but you could also put your mobile phone and make dial calls on the actual desk phone. And instead of listening from your tinny, smartphone, you could also hear it from a high-end speaker system here. Add to that the ability to actually identify your mobile phone as one of the SIP IDs on the side of the window, so that not only do you have SkySwitch SIP accounts here, you can also identify one ID for your mobile phone, so that if you do get a call, you can actually click on that key and all the dial about to make here will be using your mobile phone as another line going out. So these are great convenience features that really a lot of people find very productive moving forward. Let's get out of our XU series, out of our core, and let's get into some specifics. We also provide a very large 7-inch screen as well. And in this 7-inch screen, we actually have both touchscreen as well as button-based. We know that touchscreen is a very, very subjective thing. So Fanvil went down 2 routes to give you the touchscreen like it. And we also have another version here which provides you a touchscreen. So that we call this the X7 as well as the X7C, giving you the option to take either one. All of these contain a lot of the premium features that the high-end X6 and 5U series provide, but provide you with that. This provides you with a little bit of that mix talked about, so that if you like sort of that mixed feeling, you kind of have a lot of these phones here that will give you that type of interface. We released and kind of coming across the shores right now, we just released an Android version. So we took the 7 design and we're able to incorporate Android. The great news about this Android phone is that it actually supports Android version 9 and above. I looked at some of the applications in which you can load, and a lot of them have a baseline of Android version 8 and above, so that this will allow you to be compliant to the latest and greatest features. And of course, it includes a camera. Let's just talk about a little things about the touchscreen phone. Are incorporated here with all what we consider baseline phones. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty details about this. I'm sure most of the audience will know about it. If you want to do a deep dive, feel free to go ahead and give me a call as we do moving forward. On our Android phone, it's not the Android phone market. We actually had a legacy C600 Android phone interface. We got ahead and added a separate keypad as well as an interface as well as a camera that goes along with it. And again, the great news about it, yes.
I need to interrupt you. Your audio is breaking up to everybody on the call. I thought it was just me for a second. I checked with Emily and Erica, and now we're starting to get some comments from some of the participants as well.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that might be on your end. Perhaps it's a Wi-Fi connection or it's something else.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Is this a little better now or?
So far,
Okay, I'll
just
tend
take
to
a break
speak a
every
little
once in a
slow.
while, and if there's a problem, I'll be able to jump in and you're saying such great stuff.
Yep.
But you need to talk a little slower and then take some breaks every once in a while because I think we're going to have some questions from the audience while you're talking, and I may throw something at you.
No problem. I will do that. It's part of my Brooklyn side. We
I
tend to
know
speak
you're in that
really
Brooklyn
fast.
machine gun style, rapid fire.
I will do that. Great. I appreciate that tip. I will do that. So coming along with some of the upgrades is the Miracast support. For those who are smartphone savvy, what you may do is that you can now, if you like the Android shared screen, you could also not only share it with the screen here, but you could also Miracast this so that it also shows up on your flat screen TV at home, assuming that it's on the same network. It's really, really great and allows you a lot of flexibility to do. It's got built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi because the USB is taken up by this camera. It supports both features. Now, here's a great piece of news. The camera comes with two cables. One cable is a short cable so that it actually hooks to the phone to the back of the USB port, and there's an extended cable that allows you to put the camera on your monitor. Most people don't like to show their lower left or lower right-hand chin when the camera's on. Instead, they want it facing directly in front of them so that you can take the camera, move it on top of your laptop or your monitor so that you have a great frontal view. We provide, things to go ahead and do that. Here's just a quick DSS key. We provide 112 on the Android phone. Of course, you will see about here on the side and give you all the other DLFT. Side here, this just gives you a quick interface moving forward on the XS. Now let's talk about the specialty IP phones moving forward. We have 3 phones, and by the way, all of these items are fully qualified by SkySwitch. These things here is something that we provide great for the call center opportunity. Now, for those who really love buttons, we provide the Fanvil X210. We get a lot of great feedback on this. And what we do is actually integrated 2 sidecars. Really, all the buttons that one can ever need onto one single motherboard. What does that really do? Instead of buying 2 separate products, we give you a great high-end phone all on one piece of that. We provide you with basically two keys on the side. This is 3 separate with all the buttons that you ever need. And of course, this PA2 product is really our public announcement gateway, and I'll get into that just in a little bit. Let's just talk about the X2 Unified, the call center phone. It also comes with foot pad as well as a rest here for your headsets, and it really comes with all the basic keys that you need to really efficiently run on limited desk space that are prevalent in all different call center applications. Of course, in your X210 series, you have all the buttons that you actually could ever need. We have everything that supports up to 26 lines and can give you really 106 DSS keys, all the different tricolor keys that you have access to moving forward. Now let's talk about the PA2. A lot of people really give away that piece of business to the PA systems. Well, we have this one system that allows you to hook directly to one speaker or allows you a separate interface that could hook into an existing Viking, Bogan, or whatever have you PA amplifier so that you can actually address a whole array full of speakers. And that comes along with the 30-watt and give you lots of flexibility. For those who want to incorporate SIP into a customized that gives you a separate button, video, and all those things to be able to retrofit anything you want to do.
Tommy,
like, say, for example, yes.
Tommy, I hate to say it, you're breaking up again. Can you possibly go hardwired and maybe?
Yeah, I'm actually am hardwired. I think what it may be boiling down to, I might be probably, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do to increase the thing since I'm out of my home office at this point.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I'll try to speak a little slower, but thanks for the heads up.
Okay.
but allows you the flexibility of giving IO keys and entry keys and alarm lights moving forward. As well, here's another case where if you want to put in a multicast address from SkySwitch onto a branch, you can use this to address two systems and have a bunch of phones listen in on any of the multicast systems, either directly or indirectly moving forward. That's kind of it in a nutshell. Here is my contact information. Feel free to go ahead and do a screen share if you want to, or share this if you want to, but feel free to contact me if you have any questions. And let's transition in the Q&A moving forward. Whoop. Hello.
I was muted because with all your background, I didn't want to interfere with the noises that were coming through. With all of the diversity of Fanvil and all of the range of Fanvil, you are value priced compared to some of the other brands with high curb appeal and high design and integration and innovation. How is Fanvil able to deliver such a high quality product at value prices?
Well, what we've done is really keyed up with some of the real strategic partners such as NTS Direct to be able to look at a value point. We know where we have to be competitive in the marketplace, so that we work strategically with partners such as SkySwitch as well as NTS to give you an overall package so that we meet that sweet point, not only in just the platform itself, but at the endpoints, so that you really have an overall solution that meets your customer requirements from a technical perspective on having all the features, while giving you the entire platform, the channel, and availability of our phones. And doing that, you know, we've been in the phone business for many, many years, and then we kind of realize how people operate. And in addition to that, we also have videos that you can actually look up on the web, that you can actually see user guides, because many of the people that actually integrate our phones moving into the web, you know, many people say, how do I do a conference call? How do I integrate Bluetooth onto this? We actually have videos that you can incorporate, and people are far easier looking through a 3-minute YouTube video than they are looking through a manual. And they go, oh, okay, you know, we say a picture's worth 1,000 words. You go through it, and then you pick it up, and you know, it addresses really 98% of all the issues that are out.
That's great. Why don't we bring in Mark Magliano from NTS and get Mark to share a little bit of his experience at working with the Fanvil line and some of the comments he and Chris Turcott are hearing from the resellers who have been buying the Fanvil products, taking advantage of our Cloud Cash program where you can earn 2,500 points, and which is still running through the end of this month, where you can earn 2,500 points, which basically pays for one line for a month of SkySwitch service. Mark, what's been the reaction that you've been hearing?
Well, first, Andy, I want to just highlight, if I could, a point and a fact that I think we need to spend another moment on, because it's really important that everybody on the call understands that Fanvil has been at this for a long time, right? Fanvil has been and still remains to be one of the largest OEM manufacturers out there right now. So to answer the question more direct, it's because of that experience, Andy, that Fanvil can bring fantastic quality, very high quality products to market at that very aggressive price point. It's that experience they have. And again, coming from me firsthand, I have worked directly or competed directly against Fanvil in the past. And I can tell you that Fanvil is absolutely not only up and coming, but starting to lead the way, the path in a lot of these different areas of manufacturing. You touched upon some of the programs that we've got running here with SkySwitch right now. We are seeing a huge momentum swing away from some of the other manufacturers in favor of Fanvil right now, which is extremely exciting. It's no secret, you and I have had conversations about Fanvil and how excited we are personally to see their growth and success here in North America. It's real nice to sit back and smile and say, wow, you know, it's almost like, and I told you so, right? These guys are really taking the industry by storm, and the interest is increasing exponentially. I mean, every week we see more and more orders. We've got more calls. We've got people, companies, end users interested in different types of solutions. The hotel and hospitality aspect of the business, segment of the business is starting to take off. We're seeing a lot more interest in that particular vertical market, as well as a lot of the other technologies they have. So just all in all, the Fanvil line has been a joy to work with. I love working with Tommy. It's no secret. Tommy's executive team are extremely responsive to a lot of the input that we've had based on our experiences in the past. And we look forward to seeing Fanvil start heading down the path that I saw Grandstream heading down 5 or 6 years ago. So needless to say, very excited about this product line all in all.
Now, for everybody who's on the call, if you have questions for Tommy or if you have questions for Mark, please put them into our Q&A. I know Tommy did a great job. His slides were really informative. We'll be putting them up. We have to apologize for the internet. Tommy, you might want to look at your ISP and tell them how they let you down today. Unfortunately, it's a fact out of everybody's control. It's not our platform. It's certainly not SkySwitch. It's whatever the cable company or the telco that you have up in the Northern California East Bay area.
Yep.
That made for really, and we'll have to get you back in a few months' time and have you update us on things, and hopefully by then you'll have a improved telecom broadband experience. Tommy, we've got a question from John. John wants to know what your phone number is and what is your email address.
Sure. My phone number is area code 925-315-8950. My email address is tommy.lee@motley, no, I'm only kidding. Tommy.lee, that's L-E-E, at Fanvil, Fanvil.com.
That's great. Now, Tommy, what's coming down the pike from Fanvil? You guys are always innovating. You're constantly looking at where the market's going. What are some of the things that people can expect come Q4 that maybe you give us a little inside scoop?
Yes, we're a total endpoint manufacturer, so we highly depend on strategic platform partners such as yourself to really go into the market. So that we just came out with an Android product, an upgrade that we came out with the X7A, and that's something that we're coming out and bringing in, and it's got a great reception. The next things moving forward, we're looking at diversifying some of our endpoints, maybe looking at perhaps providing some of the wireless features, perhaps some of the conferencing, going beyond just the things so that we provide a full solution suite. But it's a little early in that time frame, but I'll kind of give you a kind of a look ahead on our whiteboard. Actually, it's a little bit further than the whiteboard, but it's something that we have cooking, and we're kind of deciding in the marketplace on where would really complement our solution offering and seeing where the biggest demand is from a market demand perspective.
We have another question from John. He says, I'm interested in the warranty, especially if I private label them. How are you handling warranty issues and getting units replaced? Mark, you want to take a stab at that first before Tommy jumps in?
Sure, absolutely. So the warranty would remain the same. It doesn't change. If I'm not mistaken, the general warranty across the board is 12 months. Is that correct, Tommy?
It's actually 24.
It is 24 now? Yeah, I was just looking up the warranty right now to post something up there to provide John with a link. But again, nothing changes. It doesn't take away from your warranty. And the warranty is still handled with us here at the distribution level. So if there are any issues through the store, through SkySwitch, we can be reached, or even directly, we'll go ahead and we'll swap the product out for you free of charge, no issues.
Tommy,
Correct. I mean, when you look at the warranty, we manufacture everything, the specification, and the way we actually rebrand everything, you'll actually see and understand it's a very, very simple process, and being able to take a rebranded phone and being able to still honor our standard warranty that we offer for all of our products.
So I'm going to provide a link here for the warranty itself. So you'll have it here and anybody can take a look at it. Here we go.
We're not seeing your screen.
No, I went ahead and I put it on the questions answered for
So,
John.
yeah, just contact Mark at NTS Direct, mmagliano, MMAGLIANO at nts.com. Tommy, with everything that's going on, you started to talk about more into conferencing and collaboration, and with the runaway train known as Microsoft Teams, and then a lot of the brands starting to roll out new Teams-focused devices, desk phones, endpoints, webcams. Do you see Fanvil getting into that mix?
Yeah, in fact, it's funny you mentioned that. I received feedback from one of our integrators yesterday that incorporated Teams on our Android phone, and that worked flawlessly. You know, that's one way you can do that. But Teams is no doubt an endpoint that we want to dig deeper into certification. I mean, there are lots of different platforms that are out there that we want certification, but MS Teams is one of them. But I do want to relay, I guess someone had put in the Teams client on the Android platform and it worked great. Do we have an 8.5 by 11 badge saying that we're just totally certified? No, we don't have that for Teams. We certainly want to get it, but I think that's a work in process.
Is there anything else we can expect with that? Because, you know, you've got Teams. What about with Zoom? You mentioned you have the ability to integrate a webcam into the endpoints because you've got all the right codecs, including the 264 codec. What are you doing anything in the Zoom arena?
Yeah, with the Zoom, it's the same thing. It's really where many of our, like say for the Android phone, I've downloaded the Android version, basically the APK download of the Android device onto the phone. Zoom client, and it works just like you would in a PC environment. Basically, what you end up having is in a PC, a person folds up their laptop and goes home, but nobody takes their desktop phone with them. And very often, if they have a common client with Zoom, they can use that as one feature. And similar to Teams, yeah, sure, we want to get onto the Teams environment, but when you can support their third-party interface into Android, it makes things very simple from a functionality standpoint. Again, yeah, you know, having full functionality with Zooms and Teams is something that we want to get that official certification for. But I know I've actually used it numerous times on my Zoom use on the phone itself, and I can get video, I can join meetings with it, and it works great.
Cool. We have another question here from David Pedrozzani. Can you discuss a little further in depth the interaction with FDPS and FDMS and how they would compare or contrast to the Grandstream GDMS? So I guess that's really the phone configuration system.
Yes. There's two acronyms. The FDPS is really nothing more than a redirection server. So what that does is when you get the phone, either through distribution or yourself, you can just load the MAC address of the actual phone up into FDPS. And all that does is when the phone wakes up for the first time out of the box, it'll take a look at this server and says, John Smith or Mary Jane owns me. The configuration server is this IP address or this server, and it'll go about and reconfigure itself. That's part one. That's pretty common amongst everybody that's out there. Number two is what we call the FDMS, which is the Fanvil Device Management System. And what that does is it really gives you the ability as an option to be able to upload specific config files. And that could be anything from loading specific configurations. If you happen to be located on the East Coast, you can pre-configure all the phones to be East Coast things. If you have specific speed dial keys that you want to have as a standard template for all of your deployments, it really becomes another option for you to go ahead and do that. Many hosted platforms may already provide this type of solution to you, but ours is sort of an auxiliary that might be able to fill in those gaps that perhaps the platform provider may not always give up front. So it's either or. FDMS is an optional tool that you can use to really supplement some of the firmware upgrades and actually doing diagnostics as well from the field from one center location to all phones.
That's great. Well, we have another question in here. Let's see if we have any more. Nope, we've got David. That's all good. So is there anything else, Mark and Tommy, that you think our SkySwitch resellers need to know? We've got a good turnout today. We've had a good reaction to the 3-for-1 program with getting 2,500 points to get a free month of line service, basically, within the SkySwitch store. We're seeing good volume moving through every week. Is there anything else our resellers need to know that we should tell them about Fanvil?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're always interested in knowing, understanding what their requirements are. If there's any added features that you would like incorporated, our product management group has very, very large ears that want to listen to what your requirements are, so that some of these people can be a strategic ear, so that if we think it's a great feature, we could incorporate that onto it. And pretty much as what Mark had mentioned earlier, all of these upgrades come at very much a valued price, and you would be very surprised to see where we actually land, that you can really give yourself a great endpoint upgrade, which is what most resellers want, for really what we consider a very great ROI price.
Right. Mark, any last comments from you?
I would just add, I'd like to highlight the fact that Tommy Lee and his entire team are very accessible. And I think it's a huge differentiator in the marketplace to be able to get their VP of sales on the phone at any given time to discuss any opportunities, or as he mentioned, feature sets, or anything you need is significant. So we're here from a distribution standpoint. I'm very accessible, as both Tommy and everyone from the SkySwitch side knows. With Tommy's accessibility being great, there's really no reason that you can't get a hold of somebody to answer any of your questions when it comes to Fanvil, when it comes to configurations, or when it comes to feature sets down the road. So don't be shy, reach out to us directly, and we're here to help you in any way we can.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I want to add to that is that one of the things I like to do is that for those who have a specific deep dive need in any of our one solutions, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to do a one-on-one with you and be able to dig as deep as you want to, so that you can see whether or not we're a great technical fit for your application.
Well, that's great. That's a very generous offer, Tommy,
Mm-hmm.
to give up time of your day to talk with our resellers. And that's what's great about the entire SkySwitch community. I mean, when I think about the different suppliers, I don't really like to call them vendors, a word that doesn't really resonate with me personally. When I think about the generosity and time and care that people like Mark and his direct report, Chris Turcott, give to our resellers, and going the extra mile, and all of our other brands that are in the store that Kelly Osborne is doing such a great job running, and really she is. And if you haven't talked to Kelly yet as a reseller, you should. If you haven't discussed with her how to take advantage of the Fanvil promotion, you should. You can reach her at store@skyswitch.com. But people like Tommy and Mark, they give their time, their energy, and they want to help you. And that's what this is all about. SkySwitch is like a family, it's a community, and we really enjoy reaching out to you, to reach out to our true supplier partners who care, who show genuine concern, and want to hear from you. There's not a single brand that we work with that doesn't say to me, at some point we want to talk more and more to the resellers and get closer with them. And by getting closer with them, they're able to offer you richer, deeper, more insightful solutions, and you help guide them on what you need. So whether it's needing custom branded phones from Fanvil, whether it's saying your phones are great, but it would be wonderful if you did this, or we'd like to see more of that, or we've deployed some, and this is what our customers are saying. People like Tommy and Mark and all of us in the SkySwitch family, we need your feedback, so don't hesitate to give it to us. I want to thank Emily and Erica for doing a great job today. We're going to be off for a couple of weeks. We have to postpone the Mondigo CRM integration. They've asked for a couple extra weeks to get ready to prepare, so we'll be notifying you either through direct mail or through the Friday Weekender or on our blog of what's coming up next. So 2 lucky winners today will win some Fanvil prizes. We've been fortunate to have Tommy offer up some really cool phones as prizes: the Fanvil X7 touchscreen enterprise IP phone and the Fanvil X6U, which is a really high-end phone as well. Those prizes will be, the prize winners will be announced in our webinar rewind that goes out sometime tomorrow. Keep your eyes on your inbox. Remember, if you don't ask us questions, you almost never have a chance of winning. And those of you who didn't ask, well, you missed your chance to get 1 of 2 great Fanvil products. Thanks again for everything. We'll be back in a few weeks with Mondigo as they talk about computer telephony and CRM integration with Chris Bloom. We'll hear all about insights and trends in the CRM industry, CRM applications that work with Mondigo, the value of a CRM integration, and some tips on how to sell CRM integration from a small business all the way up to a large scale company. That'll be in a few weeks once Mondigo is able to have the right spokespeople on with us. I'm Andy Abramson. It's been a pleasure to have Mark Magliano of NTS and Tommy Lee of Fanvil here on our weekly webinar series at SkySwitch. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening. And most of all, stay safe and stay connected.
Thank you, Andy.